Alright, I'm just going to take a minute and kind of go through the options menu for Golden T2K. The reason I decided to go ahead and do this is right down here in the corner you can see my kid decided to machine gun the credit switch and got 357 credits, which it's okay and all, but I don't like to play 18 holes every single time I play the game. Sometimes I'd rather play 3, 6, or just 9. So I gotta get that cleared up. And the only way to do it on this game is to manually do it, because to turn it off and just turn it on won't clear the credits. It's got a working memory system, battery's good, so the only way to do it is go into the menu. So I figure since I'm going into it, we'll go through all the different options and kind of show you the different things you can set up on your Golden Tee. At least for home use, there's no reason to mess around with the stuff for on locations and operators. I mean, not unless you got a bunch of Golden Tees, but I don't, so it'd be kind of hard to show how some of those would be cool. But anyway, what we first do is we go into the menu. And as you can see here, the top is obviously exit. That's how you get out of the operator's menu and get back into the gameplay. Then we have volume settings, the operator adjustables menu, the game audits menu, the leaderboard menu, and the system test menu. Now you can go up and down through this list using the trackball, or you can use the buttons that you turn your character left and right with. Alright, to go into a specific menu, you just hit the start button. So on the volume setting, you hit the start button. It gives you the current sounds, the attract mode, and moving the trackball left and right, you can increase and decrease. I keep it at the minimum because it's pretty loud. Then all you gotta do is press start, and it confirms. There you go. You have your sound locked in. Now the third one is the operator adjustables menu. This is where you can go through and do a lot of adjustments. So, at the top of this menu is exit adjustables. That's how you get out of this menu and back into the previous one. Alright, the first thing is the game mode selection. And you have two modes. You have coin mode and free play. Now free play is pretty obvious. If it's set up, there's no coins needed. But if you press the start button, you'll always get 18 holes. And again, if you always want to play 18, that's fine. We don't. So I keep mine on the coin mode, because as you'll see in a little bit, you can adjust how many holes you get depending on the coins you input. Alright, next is game resets. In here, you can reset a few different things, like all the settings from the previous menu, like coin settings and so on, can be reset right here. Reset all to factory settings. The third option on this is reset high scores only. So all the high scores that you have can be reset. There, that's a little better. Now, reset audits only. This is what I want, because this here, if I go and press the start button, it'll select it. Now all the audits have been reset. Alright? So, what that tells me, let's see here, let's get back into the game resets. Alright, now that the audits are reset, everything that's been audited, all the coins going in, the games played and so on, they've reset to 0. And that will also reset the credits. Now, the last option here is reset hole-in-one. If anybody's on the leaderboard for the hole-in-one menu, this is how you reset it back to the factory. I'm not going to do that because there is some people on there. So we're going to exit our resets. Now the next one we'll look at is the attract mode sounds. I currently have all the attract sounds off. This is inside my house. I don't want the sounds playing constantly. It does get annoying. You have the option of turning on occasionally. I don't remember what the time frame is, but it's every so many minutes it'll play the attract sounds. And all attract mode sounds on, that's where it's just going to constantly play everything. It's going to play the sounds of the golfers during the attract mode as well as the music. So if that's what you want, that's pretty much what you want to select. But I don't want any of it. The only sound I want is when you're playing the game. Alright, now, credits and coin door settings. This is the part I was talking about before, where you can adjust how many holes you get for how many coins you put in. Now, my door only has 2 coin mechs in it, so technically I don't need all 3 here, but I set each one to 1, so no matter what, every time you drop a quarter in or hit the switch, it gives you 1 credit. Now, here is how you adjust how many coins equal a credit. So when I mentioned how you put 1 and it gives you 1, that is where you'll set that. Now the holes played per credit. This is how you set up how many holes you get for 1 credit. And I have mine set up as 3. So every time we hit the coin switch, you get 3 holes. If you hit it a second time, you'll get 6 holes. 3 times, you'll get 9 holes. But right here, where it says coins needed to play 18, if you have 4, then you get 18. That's how I have mine set up. And of course, you can set yours up in any way you want. Alright, so that's the coins. Now, the delay time adjustments. The first one here is delay of game time out. Now, what that is when your golfer's up to tee or just hit the ball anywhere, you have a timer set up that you have until you get a penalty. So I have mine set up at 30 seconds. So me or the kids, when we're playing, we have 30 seconds to hit our ball. If we don't do that, then we get a stroke penalty. And of course, the second option here is just how you can turn that on and off if you choose to even have it. I keep it on because there are a lot of times the kids will coin up a game and they'll just walk away. So it's kind of easier for it to just play through if nobody's around noticing it. Alright. Now, the next one is the coin door protection menu. Alright, so coin door protection. I have mine set to no. Maximum pulse width count is 24 milliseconds. The good coin clear count is 20 milliseconds. And of course, this is how you can reset all the alarm counts, how many times a coin got jammed, things like that. You can change the milliseconds right here for how much time the switch has to open and close, for the game to consider it as a clean drop through of a coin and not a coin jam, because the game can tell when it has a coin jam depending on how much time goes in between the open and the close of the switch. And if none of these times are met, the game sets off an alarm letting people know there's a coin jam, so an attendant can come by and clear that. I don't have any of this really set up besides like the milliseconds, and that's just mainly because it's home use. We don't use the switch. We actually just have a credit button on the inside of the game door we press, and that's how the kids do it too. So alright, so that's the coin door protection. Our next one is the skill level adjustment. I have mine set in the middle, right around 3. This is where you can make the game as easy as possible, setting at 1, or as hard as possible, setting at 5. I just kind of keep it in the middle. It seems to be pretty good for me and the kids. You guys might want it easier, depending on, if you have younger kids, or maybe you're just not as skillful with the game, or you just really don't want that extra challenge, go to 1. If you want something that's just crazy hard, go to 5. I don't prefer anything too hard. I'm just here to putz around with it mainly. Okay, so that's the skill level. Now these last two are not really for home use, not unless of course you got a few machines that you want to link together or whatnot, but they have the hole-in-one contest mode. Uh, you have a hole-in-one contest, win immediately, hole-in-one contest, qualify to win. These are things that can be set up for location, and you, depending on the operator and what they want to do, they can create their own contests depending on whatever it is they're doing. This is just how you can set something up like that. You could also use it probably to maybe have some kind of like competition in a bar or whatnot, where the machine would know, like if somebody gets a hole-in-one, they automatically win, and then then the operators will know that person wins whatever prize they planned on having that day. Alright, and the last one is the 3-hole operator event. Basically, you can turn it on and off, and how many coins you need to start it, and it's just basically you have 3 holes that they play, and I'm pretty sure it's randomly generated, like on which holes that you actually play. I might be wrong with that, but essentially it's like one or more people play 3 holes, and whoever performs the best, they win, whatever the prize may be at the location. Again, these 2 options are mainly set for a location, like an operator, not for a home use kind of setting. And again, that's the 3-hole operator event and the hole-in-one contest mode. Those are mainly for locations. But we'll go back and we'll exit the adjustables. Now, our next menu is the game audits menu. We've reset this one for the most part. This is where you can go in if you're an operator and try and find out how well your game is performing and how well players are doing on each course. So the first one here is to display the coin audits. It's going to say 0, and that's because we just cleared them. If we didn't clear them, all those machine gun switch hits that my kid did would be shown up right here. Alright, the next one is the display game selection audits. Now, again, I've reset all the audits, so it's not going to be on here. Every time you go and you pick a course, or you have more than one player and you pick a specific game you're going to play, strokes or skins, it's going to keep tally of that. So then you can also know what courses are popular and what courses aren't popular. Number of golfers and holes played. So, again, same thing. It gives you more of a breakdown of how many golfers play the game, how many one-player games are there, two-player games, and so on. And then, of course, it talks about how each different hole, how many 1 to 9 games, 9 to 17 games, how many full 18-hole games, and gives you an idea of how long people are not only playing it, but, just how fun, I guess, each area could be. Maybe where you're located, people don't like playing full 18 holes. Maybe it takes too long and they're preferring a 9-hole setting. This is one way to kind of find out, tailor your game to your clients. And then you have your 3 location audits. So you have Stone Valley, Sea Haven, and the Coyote Run. And if you go into here, it's going to give you all the information for each hole. Each hole is going to be the same. It's going to have the total games, the total holes played, the average holes played per game, total strokes and putts, the water on playable balls, out-of-bounds shots, and the delay of games. The delay of games is that 30-second timer I told you about. So every time somebody's just sitting there and not playing and they get a stroke penalty, boom, it gets counted right there. And it's the same thing for the other 2 on here, Sea Haven and Coyote Run. You're going to show the same information. Let's see here, display hardware audits. Alright, this is basically all the hardware information, I guess. Is every time you power on the game, how many resets during your power-ups, voltage okays, lows, high, all that. It kind of tells you how many times it has warned you in the past. So if you have people turning on the game and they aren't paying attention to the messages in the beginning, this is one way to find out how many times those have popped up. It's also a great way to plan preventative maintenance as well too. Like when I get out of this menu, I can guarantee you that mine's going to say voltage low on probably games. It's one of the two. But it still works just fine. I'm not too worried about it. We don't play enough to make me really want to look too hard into it right now. And then of course at the very bottom we have reset audits. Of course you could just come here and reset all the audits too and clear your credits. I just go through the other menu. It's just a habit of mine from working in arcades in the past. Alright, and then we have the leaderboard menu. Basically, this kind of goes through and shows you all your leaderboards. So we'll display the leaderboard menu, and it's for all 3 holes. So you have the Stone Valley leaderboard, the Sea Haven leaderboard, and the Coyote Run leaderboard. So if we go to, like, say, Coyote Run, it's going to give you the 1st through 30th place. Right here is 1 through 15. It's going to give the name of the player, what their score was, their great shot points, right here, yeah, great shot points, and then of course the length of their drive. And if you press start, you go to page 2, which is 16 through 30, same exact information. Press it again to leave. And the same info would be displayed in Sea Haven and the Stone Valley board too. If we exit from here, you can clear all that. But again, you'd be taking away everybody's high scores and things like that, so you kind of want to maybe leave that alone. Unless you're dealing with an operation where every month or 2 months you want to clear it all up to give people better chances, that's completely up to you. And the last part is the Systems Test menu. We click that. We have a various amount of tests we can perform. Alright, so we have a video screen test. We click that. Alright, now from here, what it says is to view video test screens, press face left or face right. Press start at any screen to exit. Following screens are available: color adjustment, screen grid pattern, red screen, green screen, blue screen, and the white screen. So there's our white screen, our blue, our green, our red, our checker box, and look at that. It needs some adjustments for sure, most definitely. But again, I'm not really too worried about this. This is just for at-home fun. Alright, now full GROM checksum test. And then there's a fast GROM checksum test. And then we have a video RAM test and a palette RAM test. We have board tests, sound tests, player control tests, and the voltage adjustment test. I'm not going to go through all of these because the game's working fine, and I'm not really in the mood to be trying to fix any issues that pop up with this right now, not unless I have to. And a lot of these tests do take a fair amount of time to go through. So, we're going to exit through the tests, and that is all. That's all of it. So from here, you just exit. As you see, voltage low, system status is okay, and there's the game. With, zoom it out a little bit, 0 credits. So that right there is how you go through the menu of a Golden Tee 2K. And if you have a kid who happens to machine gun the credit switch, now you know how to clear them without having to constantly play 18 whole games. Alrighty, well that's going to be it, and I have to get moving on to the next project.